So figured I'd go over some LS accessory drive stuff since it's kind of important and I haven't really covered it yet. So I'm just going to go over some basic stuff here and then I'll talk about what I did for my setup. So there's basically 3 different accessory drive setups on the LS. You got the truck accessory drive. Here's the truck harmonic balancer. It sticks out the farthest. It's about 3 inches from here to the edge here. Then you've got the F-body Camaro and like GTO, the early Pontiac GTO stuff from like 04, around that time. And from here to here it's about 2¼ inch. So it's 3/4 inches further in than the truck. And then another 3/4 inches in from the F-body, you've got the Corvette. That's like 97 to 2013 Corvettes. They have this one that's only 1.5 inches from here to here. So that's going to give you the most clearance. But this one's good too. And a lot of times it's cheaper to find stuff for this. Now you can like fit the truck accessories. If you're naturally aspirated, definitely. With the turbo it might be a little tricky. You're going to probably want that space to fit an exhaust crossover, but I mean, your engine, if you're getting an engine out of a junkyard, it probably has truck accessories, and you can put it in the car and see where you're at with it. But if you're doing a turbo, I would recommend the Camaro or the Corvette accessories just because it'll give you more room. Yeah, so AutoZone has a great Chrysler harmonic balancer puller that will yank one of these right off, so I'd recommend getting that if you have to pull it. And then when you reinstall it, you just heat this up right here. You heat that up with like a MAP gas torch or some kind of torch, get it nice and hot, and then slip it right on real quick. And then put the old harmonic balancer bolt on and hit it with the impact, and it'll seat nicely. So if you want to use the stock truck accessories, on the Z31, you're going to want the car intake if you don't want to cut your hood to fit under the hood. So the car intake does not fit with the stock truck brackets, so you're going to have to cut them. I have a picture right here. You see this guy cut this off to fit this car intake. Otherwise this wouldn't fit in here. This is like a weird later style truck water pump. Don't worry about that. But yeah, you're going to have to chop that up if you want to get it to fit. And it looks like he just has an aftermarket bracket to mount the AC up high. Usually it's down here. Yeah, so if you're doing one of these, getting the balancer usually isn't too hard, but finding used accessory brackets from a Camaro or a Corvette can sometimes be tricky. So a lot of times I just tell guys to get ICT Billet, or even Dirty Dingo makes some accessory brackets for these guys, for the Camaro and the Corvette. They make them for both. They even make stuff for the truck too. But yeah, usually the stock brackets are hard to find. So on my setup, I just ran an alternator, the water pump, the idler pulley. The idler pulley came from ICT Billet, and then I used the stock, automatic tensioner. And I used a 550 or 550 K6 belt. That's 55 inches long, 6 rib. So, for your setup, you can just use string and measure it, and then measure how long that is, and then go to an AutoZone or O'Reilly's or whatever you have around you, and just tell them, I need a 55-inch belt with 6 rib. All the LS stuff is 6 rib, except like the weird stuff like the LSA, which has a blower. I think they're 8 rib. So, we can go over the ICT Billet brackets right now. So this is one for a Camaro. This is like what I have, except I have the Corvette one. It just uses the stock tensioner, the water pump. This idler pulley right here you get from ICT Billet, and then they've got the bracket right there. And I like this one. It mounts the alternator low, and then I have my turbo sit around here. So this is the one I actually got. This is the Corvette one. You can see the part numbers. Where are they? They should be around here somewhere. There's the part number for the Corvette. Alternator only. Well, alternator and water pump. Accessory bracket. This is actually an LS1 water pump, just so you know. The LS1 water pump is like fat, and it will do, see it's kind of fat, it will do both the Corvette and the Camaro accessory drives, just so you know. But it sticks out a little far. Yeah, here's the part number on the Camaro alternator and water pump bracket. Now, you can also get a high mount one, like up here. Some guys have used that to fit a turbo more easily over here on the driver's side. That's an option. This one is for truck accessories. Here's the part number down here. And then I don't have power steering. I have my steering rack converted to manual, but if you want power steering, they also make brackets to mount power steering stuff. Yeah. So this looks like this is Camaro spacing with a power steering bracket, and that's that part number. Now for my setup, this is what I originally had. This is a Camaro water pump, and you see it's the Camaro spacing, so the belt is along the outer ridge. If you're using Corvette, it's closer in. That's just the stock automatic tensioner. And then there's the ICT billet bracket, and there's the little idler pulley. Super simple. Yeah, actually, yeah, I was wrong. This is Corvette spacing. It's the belts on the back of this water pump. Yeah, I wanted to go with Corvette spacing just to give myself the most space. And I actually found this harmonic balancer on Facebook for like 30 bucks, so I got a good deal on it. And you can see the water pump. You can see where the belt lies on the inside. The Camaro spacing, it would go on the outside here, so it would stick out about there. So this lines up just about with the sway bar, with the engine, you know, not all the way back, but pretty far back. Now with these Corvette brackets, you might, like my driver's side mount almost hit the alternator when I pushed the engine on as far back as I wanted it, but it wasn't an issue. The truck spacing would be like way out here, so that's kind of why I'd recommend for a turbo to get a Corvette or Camaro. So later I found this water pump, got it for 35 bucks shipped. Corvette water pump and tensioner. So I switched to this because, here I'll show you, it's a lot, you know, smaller. It doesn't stick out as far. Nice and compact. And then there's the new water pump on, still Corvette spacing. And you see how much room is down here to run, you know, exhaust crossover for the turbo. And then one last picture to give you an idea. This is where my turbo sits, right near the alternator, but there's still a good amount of space there to clear everything. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The LS accessory drives really aren't that hard to figure out. You know, I was kind of didn't know what I was doing when I was first looking at this swap, and I was doing some research. And yeah, I mean, these ICT billet brackets are awesome. It's like 60 bucks, you know, and you don't have to worry about trying to find a used one. So yeah, just to sum it up, you know, NA build, you know, you can use truck accessories, that's fine. Also, I forgot to mention one thing. If you mount the alternator down here, you're going to have to grind down your block a little bit there to fit it. That's not a big deal. Like a minute with a angle grinder, no problem. Fix you right up. Yeah, but if you're doing turbo, I would try to get the Camaro or the Corvette accessory drives if you can, unless you're on a really tight budget. It just makes things easier to, you know, more space to do activities and all that. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video there.